That's it. Well, it's another episode of Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun, baby. And we're here at Recovery Reinvented 2024. Man, it's been a great time so far. Uh, I have Scott College from the F5 Project here today. Chief Operations Officer. I mean, if you don't know every nick and cranny of Adam Martin, I don't know who does. How's your day going, brother? It's some awesome gathering and a bunch of people at general business and so it's real good. Man, it's yep, it is exciting. Well, I want to give a shout out to the F5 project, all sectors of it. I want to give a shout out to Time for Second Sober Living, Make It Extraordinary, and all the people that support Sober Child. Well, I have a gift for the F5 project I would like to present to you, to give to Adam Martin. I have the custom, all handmade, even the metal is handmade. Um, F5 Sober Talk clock. You just need a AA battery, brother. Made by Cornerstone Woodworks right here out of Bismarck. But this is a gift from me to F5. So that's for you, brother. Yes, thank you. Well, he might not see him. So what type of new things happening with F5? We got a lot of things going on, in fact, one of the things that's happened for me is personally as chief operations officer, I'm going to chief development. Okay. So that's kind of my where my skill set is, I work with people, local directions, relationships, building relationships. I'll go to that two for states. Okay. I'm looking at 5 different states right now. Like close to North Dakota or okay. So the two main ones right now that we're Australia and so okay. You feel like we want to stay in the Midwest, we want to stay live there, we should register. Okay. Okay. Right. Less than 5 other states. And when we really do it, we've got some really cool things happening. And this was the first year that brought other states into it. So we've got a lot of different ideas. We're true. What can help people? One of the good things in Michigan is they actually have peer supports, the third life coaches inside the promotion. Okay. So, so if you're working with somebody that's struggling, there's a walking right down to the office of this person to sit down and then what we're talking about here. We probably invested having that person or their reverence out to them, and then first year we talked about having those people that have that good experience. That's as crazy as dealing with people that have different kind of situations. They maybe don't have that work experience. If someone's struggling, and a lot of times, when people are in crisis, you have a really small window to work with and figure out who they really want to change their lives. Right. But if you don't take that action in that time frame, they go back to their deep to what they know. Right. We've done it. Yeah. Well, I'm in this really do it. Congratulations, brother. Yeah, I'll be 7 years in February. So no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. Cheers. Yeah. Mine was alcohol. But Adam will tell you that he's got 3 months more than he was at 3 months as he goes. Were you in the military? I remember I was a couple of years. Okay. Should have first. Well, thank you for your service. In Fargo? I've been in minor complaint. Okay. I've been all through elder probation officers over the last 10 years. Okay. Those are stress off this states to the okay. So, yep, I'm a veteran myself. Thank you for your service. Yes, sir. And there's a lot of veterans out there. Those homeless people you see on drugs and stuff. Some of them, a lot of them are veterans, and people just don't know it. Right. You know what I mean? So another cool thing that I think is very appreciative is and it's trauma-informed training that we're doing inside the prison, which is amazing. Two of the guys that were working as the director and two of the coordinators were people that were similar and incarcerated in that facility. Yeah. Now we're providing, we're employed by our providing that training and so through that process, we met the Central Foundation out of Alaska. They also have a program that's called Service Oakland. Okay. And I fell in love with it after we had the July 13th shooting a year or so ago in Florida. Mm-hmm. So I was really confused. I remember that. It really took a heavy toll on me. I knew there was something I needed to do. My heart was telling me, well, we're on the front called First Responder. Okay. And I ended up with one of the very program. Bring 5 other former police officers, first responders, and do that training and do it. All this and run that back to the okay. Build out a program that works as you know, rather than the military side of things, just like it is in the on-source thing, medic, whatever it is, firefighter, that we don't we're supposed to countries are, not here to have anything affect us. Right. And a lot of us live that life. Mm-hmm. We always were like, we didn't talk about the stuff that was going down. Mm-hmm. We always talked about the stuff that, part of it was we never talking about it, so that right. We're talking about so that process is my goal is at some point is to help build that up and bring that to like the Great South to Minnesota. Okay, amen to that. You can jump on the mic over here. Yes, I wanted to bring this to the table. So we got all the heavy hitters from the F5 project. I know who really runs F5 now. Well, I did just present a clock. Yes, you did. To the F5 project. This means the AA battery. It's all handmade. Even the metal and the wood is lasered and all handmade. From yep. Then no Nazis. No Nazis. So your name's Megan? And what is your title for F5? So it's chief advancement. Okay. So I do a lot of revenue generating, fundraising, events, donor arrangements, corporate partnerships, all of those things. Didn't we speak through email or something? Maybe. I think so. Sober Talk. Might have shot for, might have been no training. The brand for the sponsorship? Yep. Right. I think that might have been. Great shot. Yeah. And then another one, Kathleen? Yep. Okay. Okay. When I was throwing about it for James River Bread. Okay. And also Curtis was telling me about it. Yeah. Yep. So I've been knowing Curtis for a while now through sobriety. He's awesome. Oh, Curtis. Yep. So I've been knowing him for a while, and he's a great guy. Yeah. So did he tell you the funny story? What? So when Curtis, like I said, Curtis actually served time at James River. So he went through the CO training, got that all done. They gave him keys and a radio. And one of the first times he's in the facility, he's standing by the door and he's just kind of waiting there, and somebody kind of walked by him and said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm waiting, and they go, "Well, you have keys." He goes, "Oh man, I got keys." So it's a pretty cool story about, yep. How, but that just shows, when we start looking at things of, the ability and when we put opportunity in front of people, and I've always said, the lived experience, we've hired people. Most of our people that work for F5 have lived experience. Amen. We had a program with the Sanford program or with Sanford where we were going into their hospital in Fargo, like their detox unit, talking to people who are coming out. We've actually hired 3 people that are on our payroll that we were the ones that were standing by their bed when they first were going through the things they were going through. And I said, there isn't
really anything more powerful than having a person sit in the seat, where they're talking to the person that's struggling.
Amen.
To say, hey man, I was in your spot, man. I was there.
Yep.
I know what you're going through. And there's, you as somebody in recovery, when I'm connecting with somebody, there's a different connection than what we call normies, that can live a normal life or whatever normal is. It's
Right.
the only thing I've ever heard normal is the setting on the washing machine.
Right.
What is normal?
Yep.
But really the reality is just having that ability to connect.
Amen.
To understand that dark place that we, as somebody that's been in an active addiction, that when we get there, somebody else can understand that.
Amen to that.
So it's pretty cool.
Yep. So I go to, in the business world and stuff, I go to dinners, and you have people that still drink their normies, and they drink their wine and eat their steak, and it's the same thing they say every time. It could be someone that don't even know each other. They get real low and they pull me to the side. Does this bother you?
Oh,
and I'm like, nah, I'm past that point. You know what I mean? And then they say, so what? You really can't drink? This is usually after their second glass.
yes, right.
And I said, have you ever woke up and you don't know where you're at? Have you ever woke up, don't know where your car keys at? Ever woke up, your wallet's missing, your pants are missing? You know what I mean? Yeah. And they said, that's what happens to you when you drink? No, that's what's going to happen to you when I drink.
Yeah, exactly. I always say, people say, oh, that's right, you can't drink. And I said, oh, no, I can drink. I'll drink you under the table. I choose not to drink today.
Right.
For everybody's better.
Right.
Amen around me.
So what exactly is the F5 Project?
Well, the F5 Project is, as we've talked about, Adam Martin is 5-time felon. So the F5, we were just talking about this yesterday with another gentleman, but the F5 Project was the 5 felonies, but it was actually Governor Burgum that was introducing him at a speaking engagement, and he said, oh, it's also the F5 key on your keyboard. It erases your screen, refreshes the screen. So our goal and what F5 wants to do is help people refresh their screen. We don't want their past to determine their future.
Right.
We shouldn't, none of us should be judged on our past.
Right.
We've all made mistakes. Some of us got caught, some of us didn't.
Right.
We have a police officer on our board that talks about that, and he heard Adam speak about that. Mm-hmm. And he thought back, when he was younger, some, stuff that we've all done that we could have gotten in trouble for. We're lucky enough not to get caught.
Amen.
So our goal at F5, when Adam put it together was, he started out doing just like an entrepreneur class at the Cass County Jail.
Okay.
And what was happening is he told guys, give me a call when you get out, I'll see what I can do. And he was starting to put people on his couch. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that he talks a lot about is he started seeing his friends either going to jail or dying because of the addiction, the overdoses, all the things that were going on. And he just had something heavy on his heart to do something different. So he quit his pretty good job with a high-tech company and started a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And that nonprofit started out with, he didn't have a clue what he was doing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he still does today, but, he surrounded himself with pretty good people. We all have.
Right.
He does know what he's doing. Just kidding, Adam.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, it just started out with an idea. And I'll tell you this, working with Adam for the last 7 years, I'm one of the first 4 employees that work there. And it's been a long run. We've been some really good ups and some really low downs, where we didn't know if we were going to make payroll, if we were going to make this. But he's a visionary.
Right.
So, we're the implementers, and that's what I think why we've grown. We went from, when I started with them, I was a 4th employee. We were serving about 15 to 20 participants. And today we have over 50 employees, and we're in all 8 major cities in North Dakota, and we serve over 500 participants statewide.
Amen.
So we've grown, but I think because of his visionary and the people that we've surrounded ourselves with, the employees, we've got Gina here, who's one of our care coordinators, lives in Beulah, but works out of Bismarck. She has an amazing story that needs to be told someday on your show, I believe, because she's been through a lot. And when I was the one that called her to offer her the job, and it was at a very difficult time in her life. And but I saw something in her. You know, and I think that's the part of this thing is we see that in people and what they can do and the ability to have that impact.
Amen.
So our goal at F5 Project is to impact lives.
So also, didn't F. Martin get a bill signed? Well, Adam Martin get a bill signed from the governor that a felon, nonviolent, can get their cases sealed.
Yes,
And
he was a big part of that. You know,
Yeah.
he was the one that really got it implemented, got the right people in place, and he was able. I mean, he was a huge part in making that happen. So that was another big one of his visions that he's always wanted to do. The other thing was mugshots. You know, he was really pushing that, and understanding that, you know, we're putting mugshots out there of people before they've been convicted of things. You know, and some of it I think we understand is, you know, there's safety for the community that's involved too, that when some of this is going on. So, but he did have something interesting that was told to him about from one of the moms that called and said, you know, that mugshot was the only way she knew her son was still alive. You know, so there's both sides sometimes to issues where we're starting to understand, you know, and I think that's where I think F5 has, we want to look at everything. You know, we want to look at it as the whole picture. How do we do this better? You know, it all comes down to collaboration and community. It's the bottom line is how do we as a community, whether it's law enforcement, it's our prisons, it's our jails, it's our ER rooms, you know, our mental health people, our addiction counselors, peer supports. How do we all do this together? We can't do this alone. We have to do it as a community. And, you know, the best thing we can do is as a community is help build the people up so they can have their own jobs, have their own house, take care of their kids, you know, be buying things from the stores, from the merchants, those kind of things. When we start doing that, we start building our communities and they become safer because people feel like they're a part of something.
Well, and we had a participant who came out of our Williston program who's now a firefighter.
Okay.
So, you know, it's those types of things where people are not only contributing to the community, but they're reversing some of the destruction that they may have caused. And now they are out there saving lives and making a difference in their community. So it's so important.
How did you get involved with the F5 project?
Good story.
So I was actually in corporate world for 13 years. I ran my family's restaurant business for quite some time.
In Fargo?
Nope. I'm in Minot. And so we have Taco John's and Slim Chickens. But you know, something was missing. And so I made the decision to leave corporate and go nonprofit. And my first choice was a bust. And so I wasn't working anywhere for a few months, and I was trying to find the right nonprofit to go to next. And I found F5 Project online, and I thought, I'm just going to send Adam an email. And I sent him the wildest email. And I'm sure he thought, this lady's crazy, just crazy enough to spark an interest.
He showed it to me.
I know. Yeah. And so then he reached out to me, and then he and Scott came to Minot, and it was like, yeah, this is great. And so I joined the team. It's been awesome.
She did say no to Adam the first time. So.
Oh, he's never going to let me live that down either.
And then y'all have the F5 podcast radio show.
Yep.
So Pretty Ricky told me, so I'm coming to Fargo November 16th. And there's a church there, Relevant, Travis Lynn.
Yep.
I think it's in Moorhead. There's a church called Relevant Church.
Okay.
And they asked me to come speak my testimony there. So they're going to have us come that Saturday and speak 2 services on Sunday in the morning.
Nice.
And so it's looking like I may be staying till Monday and coming to the podcast that morning.
Monday morning. Sure.
And also the Sanford Hospital drug behavioral health drug
SGD program.
Yeah, the drug program that they have there. They want me to come and speak. The guy just came to me, and
John?
Yep. And so I'm going to be coming.
That's awesome. I'll be there with you on the.
Yep.
F5
So
radio.
it'll probably be November 18th.
Yep. Awesome. I'm
Okay.
excited.
Yep.
That'll be super cool.
I'm thinking it's gonna all fall into place.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep, I'm busy just like you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
I know,
You know,
right?
so I did have one F5 employee, Danny Witzko.
Yep.
She came to an event I had 2 weeks ago at the Farm MRCC prison. And I brung in two famous barbershops around here, and a beautician, and Danny Witzko came out of retirement with her clippers and her
Oh, nice.
Really?
and
Awesome.
we was able to cut 50 inmates hair.
Awesome.
And while they was getting their haircuts, the other guys waiting got to listen to speakers.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so it was my first Sober Talk by itself event.
Oh,
Nice. So I thank you guys for all you do for Sober Talk, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I've been in the prisons a lot with other organizations, but this one was great. And a lot more events coming up.
Yeah,
We're trying to get into JRCC next.
We'll get you
Well,
there.
we know some
We'll
people.
get
I know somebody that's got some keys in the radio.
Yeah,
That's
keys and
right.
radio.
Exactly. He knows how to use them.
He's not that tall, but you know,
Yep.
he can sneak us in.
He's not
Amen. Well, I want to thank y'all for stopping by.
Yes, thanks for having
I
us.
really appreciate you.
Great to meet you and actually finally get to see you in person, man.
Nice to meet you.
From the bottom of my heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll see more of each other and more stuff.
Do
And
more
Adam,
events.
good luck on your pardon. I'm pretty sure God's already got a plan for you.
Yeah, God's got him. So
And I hope y'all have a great rest of your day and enjoy the clock.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate the gift. That was amazing. Thank you.
Amen.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it.
I want to get a picture with y'all.
Cut.
Yeah, I do have the Venmo.
Yeah.
What happened to the
1 second.
I don't even know what time it is. Let me just
see that?
the radio.
Scott, I ain't about that life. I'm about that life.
Did you see that?
I already swiped it. Swiped it.
Okay.
Swiping. Dora.
That's how you go through.
Well, now somebody.
You out there,
No.
our shadow. Talk to a Keisha.
Oh, you found the show?
Yeah, talk to Catherine, brought up
Good for you.
So,
Kathy's here?
Catherine.
Oh.
First lady.
Yeah. Perfect. 90. I don't need me in this picture.
Yeah, we need all in there. Take pictures.
This, that's
Hey!
Okay. This
Good stuff. It's sticking.
well, we think so. Yeah. You want prize again.
You get a date with staff.
Again, and that's
That's right.
before today, the clear recovery guy was yes. It's David, yes. And yeah. I think yeah. He's got Bob's we know it. We know the guy. He also mentioned me. Didn't stay for the prizes, but he didn't say football, and I was like, it won't be a big deal.
Brother Bolt.
Right here? Right here. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Left my charger back here. Oh, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna put back in my.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Hi, Nori.
Hi. So it can hear you however you're sitting, okay?
Okay, sounds
Okay, so I'm here with Nori Stark, Miss Stark, as
Yes.
we used to call her from
Yes.
HRCC. You used to work there. So it's been
3 years.
Yep, 3 years since you were at HRCC.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and you've been on a journey yourself.
I have. Yes. So I left corrections. I stayed working for the state. I went to Bismarck State right after working at HRCC. I taught and I advised over there. I decided to leave.
Why?
Well, I felt like I wanted to work with the vulnerable population. That's where my heart is.
Yeah.
So I
Because
went.
you loved it at HRC.
Yes, I did. I absolutely loved it there.
Let me ask you real quick. Why didn't you stay there?
Honestly, I love what I did. I love the work. The only thing that deterred me from staying was the hours. It's shift work. I'm a single mom of 2 girls.
That's right. Yeah.
That was tough on me and my girls. So I needed
Because
something
you
more
were their sole
structured.
parent. Yeah.
And I lived so close there, so it was like so convenient for me to hop on if I needed to cover for a little bit. But yeah, I missed it. I went to Bismarck State, worked there for 2 years, left because I wanted to work back with the population again. So I became the behavioral health manager at Ministry of the Margins.
Whoa.
I did
You
that.
told me that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was fun. That was great. But I'm like, God, I need to get back into corrections. So now I'm back in corrections, working at the NDSP with the adult males.
Okay.
I'm a human relations counselor over there.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm back to my old stomping grounds because I actually was there 12 years ago.
Well, and you're of military background,
I
so
am.
that's kind of up your alley a little bit.
To be honest, I like structure.
Yep.
It was really hard for me to integrate from soldier life to civilian life.
Yeah.
The state being for the state government, we have policy procedures we got to abide by, and I'm all about by the book standards.
Rules. Yes.
Being in corrections, rules. Everybody got to follow them. And, I just want to be a positive role model,
That's right.
mentor, and just be there for people that they have a voice, but they don't know how to express it. So that's what I'm there for.
I can't believe at one point in time you were like, you are my inspiration. You are my inspiration.
No.
Because I would be, okay, so I'm in corrections, like
Yep.
as
Yeah.
a live-in correctional person, you
Yeah.
know, I'm a ward of the state and you are working in corrections.
Yep.
And I had such a temper that every single day I had to get off work and work out
Yep.
nonstop just to keep myself sane. And I remember you walking by me and you were like, gosh, Teresa, you got this. I'm so and I was like, this woman is so positive. And then I see you out here. We were in New Orleans and his best friend was telling Brandon how he was on this weight loss journey and all this stuff. And I was like, you have to see my friend. And I pulled up
Because I
you had
remember
posted those pictures of your side by side.
Yes.
And I never thought you were that I never looked at you like that. I thought you were so beautiful and you were like, girl, I never
was so
looked
big.
like this.
When I was in HRCC, when you were there, I was about 265 pounds and nobody ever saw that. And I'm telling you guys, I gotta have this weight loss surgery.
We're like, no.
You guys did not believe me. And I'm like, I literally have a binge eating disorder and I have a problem. And that binge eating disorder derives from me being depressed and having the PTSD. And that was my coping mechanism because I was really heavy into drugs, prescribed drugs, using them not the right way,
abusing them
very much so, and drinking and all of that from the military, getting out of the military, because this is what happens. They train you for war. They don't teach you how to come back home.
That's right.
So the way that a lot of us vets cope, drinking and drugs and misuse and abuse of our own prescribed medications.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what happened with me. So
so you have suffered from addiction issues, not only with drugs and alcohol, but in a mental health form as well as everybody does, but more on an eating disorder level.
Yep. So I stopped the drinking.
That's kind of a hard one.
It's tough because it's I stopped the drinking, but I went to eating. And then I'm like, I need help. I tried all the weight loss diet stuff. Even my dietitian would tell me, and I'm like, we got to do the weight loss thing. And then, so I stopped. So I got on that weight loss journey, did the surgery. I went from...
So you did do weight loss surgery?
I did.
Which one did you use?
It's called SADIE, which basically is gastric bypass and the gastric sleeve at the same time.
Oh.
So I lost...
That's because the gastric sleeve at one point wasn't safe for people. It was literally breaking and hurting people.
So now it's really...
So you did do that. I didn't know. I thought you were pure 100.
I needed help. So, Dr. Darren McField from Stanford Fargo. He's the only bariatric surgeon in this whole state of North Dakota that's certified to do the surgery.
Yeah.
I was the only one that I knew that had this procedure done. Everybody else I know has done all the other type of surgeries.
Flat back.
I did it. When I was cleared to work out, I was religiously working out,
Yeah.
eating right. I lost 115 pounds in 10 months.
But you did it right.
Mm-hmm.
Because you implemented how you're supposed to
Yep.
implement a workout routine, a healthy eating routine as well. And
I
you did
followed
that
the rules.
consistently for how
And I'm
long?
still-
2 years?
Yeah, I'm still 2 years post-op. Yep, and I lose about 5 pounds here and
Yeah,
there,
give
but
or
I'm
take. Yeah.
still there. And I went from food addiction to gym addiction, and
Yeah.
I would take that any day.
That's a healthy addiction though.
It is. It's
You know, and
healthy.
everybody, I think people at all points in their life are addicted to something.
Yeah.
Whether it's shopping, boyfriend, girlfriends, like you name it. It could be soda. It could be.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Wow, look at that. Oh, Recovery Reinvented. These are the coins that they were talking about. These are beautiful. And so that is amazing.
There's a lot has changed in the last how many years, honestly, and for the best. You know, like I look back at it, it's like almost 10 years ago, I wanted to take my life.
Yeah.
2015, August 7th of 2015, I overdosed on my own prescribed
What were you taking?
benzos.
Okay.
A lot of it for
They were supposed to be for like anxiety and stuff.
anxiety, and it just they're prescribed from my mental health doctor from Fargo. My excuse was I wanted to sleep and I just didn't want to wake up. So
It's not an excuse. That's a real.
yeah. It was really hard on me because then I'm like, I woke up the next day in a hospital bed and I'm like, oh my God, I'm alive again. Like,
So who
I survived.
found you?
Huh?
Who found you?
Oh, somebody I was dating at the time. And that was a whole different story we can get into, but it's like I had purpose when I was in war. I survived all these things. I lived. I survived.
Well, they told you what to do.
Yeah.
You were told what to do.
So then I come home and I'm so depressed and struggling with PTSD, and I overdose and I'm alive again, and I'm still alive. And it's
How
like,
did
I
you
still
feel
have
about that
purpose.
part?
It's like, it's not my time to go.
Okay.
God
It
is
inspired
watching
you.
me.
It inspired you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have a little girl that needs me and I need to do better. And it's like, here I am. I managed to put myself through college. So
Amen.
in 7 years, I was managed to obtain 3 college degrees. 3, who does that?
Three.
Three.
While you were a single mother.
As a single mother, working full time and part time. And I'm just like, when people say they can't do it, there's a will, there's a fucking way. Sorry.
No, you're good.
There's a way. And my purpose is my children. Like, they are my purpose. I need to show them, like, I can persevere over anything. Like, anything that comes my way, I can do it. And they are going to say, Mommy did it. I can do it too.
That's right. It's so crazy to like think about how our life can just ebb and flow so much. At one point, like you are on top of the world, and then at another point, you're like, you never felt that at all. Like you felt like you were buried by the world.
Yep.
And then you start to reflect more on that, and you see your kids and how your kids are shaping up. Like I'm helping raise a child.
Like these children.
Yeah. They are so smart.
They're a product of our influences, right? And it's like us giving that positivity. They're just growing and thriving, and they're going to do the same. They're going to keep going up in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to, my kids, they're everything to me. And unfortunately, like their fathers aren't like super present in their lives. Not my oldest one, but my little one, her dad's here and there. But it's like, they know Mommy's always been there.
That's right.
I've always been here.
And that's a really good place for them to be in because you are the person that they look up to as a woman.
Yes.
And you're setting a really great example.
I try, girl.
They're your twins. Your little minis.
They kind of are.
So awesome. It's
I'm
so
so
awesome.
happy to see you two.
You
And you
too.
do nothing but thrive. And like, that girl's everywhere.
I remember feeling like whenever we were even riding in the car together, you took me to one of my doctor's appointments, and I was just like, "Dude, this is."
I think I have one of our pictures. I'll have to find it.
Yeah,
Saved.
yeah.
It's like I always
We
thought
took a lot of pictures there.
You were such a beautiful person, inside and out. Like I'm like, this girl is hard.
I felt so ugly at that time.
No. I always
Not
thought
ugly like that. I mean, like my insides just didn't match like what I knew I was capable
I
of.
felt that you were holding back a lot, and you had so much trauma and shit.
And then, do you remember what happened right before I left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
I dealt with that for a year and a half.
it's tough.
Well, so with that situation, it reopened a wound, right? Like, I had to compartmentalize the relationship with my son and his dad, for years.
Yep.
And it took me 2 years to do that. And at 2 years, I was like, my mentality shifted. It was my perspective.
Yep.
I was like, what am I doing? Like, why did I waste 8 years using and drinking over a relationship that I didn't have when I wasted 8 years using and drinking over this relationship?
Oh, we coped with it.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how to do it any other way.
Yeah. And then when my perspective changed and I was like, I'm going to get that back. Why didn't I do this a long time ago? It was my perspective obviously stood in the way.
Isn't that so great?
Yeah. And then look what happened.
Mm-hmm.
God
You
blessed me, but in a way, like I had to lose one to get the other.
absolutely.
And it was a shocking thing. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, my dad told me that my son's dad had passed away. And I was like, I can't believe that. So I like all these things started running through my, am I going to get to see my son? Will I get served with papers? You know what I mean? So them are like, that was a whole thing in itself that and I had no idea how to do it. None of my family members ever went through that.
Yeah.
I was doing it on my own.
You had to struggle with that on your own. And it's such a tough situation to be feeling alone. But you know what? Like, you gotta stay strong because you're honestly, like, I feel like I'm the one that I can depend on myself. Like, I have to fix me strong, the strongest woman I can ever be for myself, for my children, for anyone else, because if nobody's going to take care of me but me in the long run.
You know what? Amber Lund, she was just on here from F5. She works for F5 now. She's from Turtle Mountain. She's a character. I love her. She just said on here, she was like, I had to learn that I could depend on somebody and that somebody was me.
Absolutely.
Ah, so beautiful.
I like dealing with my divorce from my oldest daughter's father. It's like I always felt like I had to be in a relationship. I always had. So we got divorced. I was in a 4-year relationship, broke up, got in another 4-year relationship. And then I was like, I need to just like be alone for a while. And I did it.
And that's where you find your strengths.
But yeah, I was single for 4 years and I did it. And now I'm in a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
So
are you engaged?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, don't tell me you're engaged and I missed it. There's a show that they're doing right now on stage with the dancers. Thank you for joining me.
I love you.
So good to see you.